What's going on YouTube? I am Prepper Princess, the author of Living on Almost Nothing. If you're interested, I will leave a link down in the description box below. Today, we're going to talk about Disney. Now, there's a lot to unpack here, but I'm just going to start off by saying you Disney folks are crazy. Okay, you're a little cuckoo. Love ya. You're just a little cuckoo. Okay, way back in the day, when I worked an office job, back when dinosaurs roamed the earth, every single tax season, whenever tax season would come around, by the way, this was from people who I had to listen to all year about how they couldn't afford this, they couldn't afford that, their car's broken down and they can't afford to fix it, they have nothing in savings, they don't save anything for retirement, blah, 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 every day, all day long. And anytime tax season comes along, these same exact people get this huge refund check. And by the way, I've always been jealous of refund checks because in my life, I've had exactly 2 refund checks. One the year my mom died, and one was this year when I had to take a huge tax write-off because my tenant almost burned down my rental property. So those are the only 2 times, the 2 worst years in my life where I had a tax return. I always break even or I owe money. So every year, these people would get 8,000, 7,000, 10,000, whatever, tax returns. And it's like, oh, are you gonna pay off your credit card? No. Are you going to pay off your car? No. Are you gonna get your car fixed? No. How about those new tires that you've been talking about? No. I'm going to Disneyland. And sure enough, they would go and spend their entire refund check, the whole kit and caboodle, on Disney. And they're still in debt. Probably even more so than before they went on the trip, which is obviously not good financial management. But I don't want to hear you complaining all year long about how you've got no money, and I'm literally giving you cans and bottles out of the trunk of my car that I've been jumping in dumpsters to get so you can feed your kids, and then you spend it, you go to Disneyland. That's crazy. Now, let me go a little bit further into this. Okay, Disney now, let's just all be honest. Disney has gone downhill since after Avengers Endgame. All downhill. Lots of people are quitting their Disney Plus subscriptions. The stock is way down, stuff like that. And the quality of Disney has gone down. Why did you remake Snow White? I don't understand. It was perfect. You don't remake perfection. Anyway. So, into communist Snow White. So anyway, when I was a kid, things were a little bit different. I've been to Disney twice in my life. Once when I was 4 or 5, I don't remember it because I was too young, and it was paid for by my grandparents where my mom showed me pictures, but I don't remember it at all. I was just too young. So people who say they're making memories for their kids, no, you're really making memories for yourself because your kids aren't going to remember it. And then I went when I was 16. Now things were different when I was 16. I was 16 was 1997, so it was pre-2001. You could get away with a lot more. I went with a bunch of friends. We all got a hotel room for, back then it was like $30, and it was about 10, 15 miles from the park. And we all split it, so it was like $10 each or whatever. And then when you went to the parks back then, you could bring food. You could bring your own food and water and lunch or whatever. And it wasn't a big deal. So we did that. We packed our own lunches. And nowadays, and parking was free back then. You didn't have to pay for parking if you were going into the park. Things are different because they want their money. Now you've got fast pass, multi-pass, season pass, pass the pass, just a bunch of passes that, and the tickets back then were like $50, which we thought was expensive when you're 16. And chickens, which we thought was expensive way back then. And now, like, the cheapest ticket that you can get is $150. Now, if you want a fast pass, like where you pass the line, which I would do if I were going to go to Disney today. Like, no, we are not waiting 3 hours in line. We're only going to get to go on 2 or 3 rides, which was what happened when I was 16 because they didn't have this fast pass thing. We had to wait in line like 3 hours for every ride. And I remember the ones that we were able to ride on weren't even like the big ones. So we kept going on Indiana Jones and Peter Pan. I liked them. They were good, but not that good, you know? So anyway, so things were a lot cheaper back then. You could get away with different things. And paying $500 for a ticket, and plus when people go to Disney now, they don't even think to stay at a Motel 6 in San Pedro for $50 a night. They have to go get the $350 a night ticket to stay at Disney. So, and then they don't stay for one day. They stay for like 5. So just with the hotel, you're looking at an extra $1,000 that you could have saved. Now, if I were going to do this trip today, which I'm not, I would spend the money on whatever the pass is to get past everyone. I'm not waiting in those lines. You know, I'll pay the $500 on that, and I'll sleep in my car. Yeah, you go ahead and laugh. I will, I swear, I'll sleep in my car to save the money. And I'll eat before I go into the park. And it would probably be cheaper to take an Uber and have them drop me off. I don't know. Because they charge like $80 for parking now, which is, what? Like you're paying, the cheapest ticket is $150 plus $80 for parking. That's $230. That's crazy. Okay, now, that's that. But let's go a little bit deeper. Okay, I was born, no, okay, I wasn't born here, but I was raised in California. Moved here when I was 2. So I would say that's pretty much raised here. And when people come in from other states to come and visit Disneyland, they're here because they are all Disney. I get it, you're Disney. But let me tell you something. There are parks for half the price. You can stay in a Motel 6 close because they don't have their own hotels. There's parks all over California that are way cheaper. And I'm gonna be, dare I say it, they have way better rides, okay? And you can do this so much cheaper. I will explain. Okay, in Los Angeles, you've got Disneyland, which is the biggest park, I guess. You've got Magic Mountain, which is a roller coaster theme park. You've got, what's that other one? Universal Studios, which I love. I like Universal. I went there 3 years ago. It was fun. But they changed the King Kong. The King Kong, they have these tour rides where you go and see Jaws and King Kong, and you see a flood. And the King Kong used to be this big giant like 50-foot puppet that would like in your face, right? Well, they got rid of that King Kong, and now it's a giant digital holograph King Kong. And it's where he's fighting another King Kong thing. And it's now on, instead of King Kong being on one side where there's like an earthquake, it's a holograph thing on both sides of the train. And when they fight, they like splash in water. And when they splash in water, you get spritzed, which is kind of cool. And when I was younger, I stopped riding upside down roller coasters in my mid-20s. I used to love them. And I started getting sick in my mid-20s. So now, unfortunately, the only things I can ride are non-upside down roller coasters. And with the hologram ones and the digital ones, I have to close my eyes a lot because of the motion sickness. But still can ride the wooden ones. And I'm not gonna try. If I try an upside down one, I'm sitting in the middle of 2 people that I know, and I'm holding a bag the whole time. It's not a fear thing. I love them, but I can't do it. Okay, I digress. So you've got Universal Studios, Magic Mountain. Up here in the central to northern part of California, you have SeaWorld, Great America. And the SeaWorld is changing. So SeaWorld used to be mostly shows with like orcas and dolphins and seals and stuff. And they stopped their breeding program and they're going into more teaching type stuff, and they moved more into roller coasters, and the roller coasters are becoming more extreme. But the tickets are a third the price of Disney, and just as much fun if you're into roller coasters. And now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't get the whole Disney is the only thing we can do while we're here. Now, when I was a kid, our vacations, because in the 80s everybody was poor. I say this, I've said this a couple times, there's a reason the Roseanne TV show was so popular. That's what it was like in the 80s. That's what everybody lived like. When we went on vacation, it was usually camping in the off season, which I hated, and I haven't gone camping ever as an adult. So it's camping, which it wasn't even real, like, anyway, I digress. Or it was visiting somebody, a friend of ours, who had like a cabin in the desert, Darwin. You can look up Darwin, and there's a couple of documentaries. I've never met, there's one big documentary that has like millions of views, and I've never met those two girls in there, or the only people I've met in that one is the neighbor, Bill. No, not Bill. Everybody, is it Bill? Rick. And Rick also did, I think it was the pilot episode or the second episode of No Man's Land, which was a TV series. They were trying to do something like Duck Dynasty back in the day. And Rick got all a big head, and he's like boasting. He's like, I'm famous. And I'm just like, yeah, that one episode of No Man's Land is gonna really put you on the map. But and it was so fake. They played it like it was reality. It was so fake. I could tell you so many behind the scenes of that. And they were trying to get me, Rick was trying to convince me to do something on there, and I'm like, what's it pay? He goes, about $100,000. I'm like, I'll do it, whatever it is. I'll drive down there and we'll go hiking, and you can make me look like an idiot. Cool, $100,000 sounds good. That dog is such a butthead. Anyway, so I think that people's we all know, I mean, just statistically, 80% of people are bad with money. But when your tax refund comes and you've got and you have enough to pay off all your debt, and you still have bald tires and you're going to Disneyland, that's not just a bad financial decision, that's a really bad financial decision. So, and there's so many other options for half the price. Oh, a couple other things. Santa Cruz. So you can go to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. They have free Friday music from real performers. Like the Beach Boys were there all the time. I saw Macy Gray perform there once. And the rides, you can buy like a full day wristband if you want for like $30 to $50. I don't remember what it is. But you can also pay for the rides as you go. So they have the Dipper, which is their big roller coaster. It's an old wooden one of the first ones built. And it's really bouncy. So wear a good bra, ladies. I'm serious. I'm not being funny. Like, really, wear a good bra. But the Dipper, which is like $5 to $7 per ride. So you can pay for $5 to $7 and ride it once and you're good. They also have a water ride, which is whatever, not really worth it. And then the haunted house. Go in the haunted house. I have a hilarious memory from the haunted house. I wear my sunglasses on my head, and I was with my friend who was making me laugh so hard because she was holding onto my arm for like safety, but she was pulling me, like she wanted to melt into the floor, and she was trying to pull me down at the same time. And I was laughing so hard, but it's pitch black in there, so you have to feel your way around to get out. And my glasses fell off my head, and I had to let my friend go. So I was like, stand there, pitch black, while I go and find my glasses. So I'm like patting the ground trying to find my glasses, and I didn't realize that I was under like a thing that did a super loud growl, and then it blew air at me, scared. But I was laughing so hard I almost peed myself. It was so funny. But I got my sunglasses. So I would recommend, okay, you go to Santa Cruz, you pay for parking, which is going to be about 13 bucks. You go on one ride, which is about 7 bucks, or 2 rides, so 15 bucks. So 15 plus 15, 30 bucks all day long. All day. Bring your own snacks. You're allowed to bring your own snacks. 30 bucks. Or you can even do what I used to do, and I would not pay for parking. I'd park like a half mile away, and I'd bring my rollerblades, go straight to the beach with my boogie board, and boogie board all day long. If you're gonna do that, I highly recommend a wetsuit because that water is cold. All right, folks, do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out. You two are the cutest doggies. Do you know how cute you are? Do you know how cute you are? Do you know this? Oh, yeah. You know it. Oh, you know it. Mommy loves you. Mommy loves you and your snaggletooth. And your snaggletooth. Gotta snaggle it. And let's get the other one. There we go. Snaggle. Double snaggletooth. Double snaggles. Yes. Keep that one snaggletooth. There you go. There you go. Mr. Snaggletooth. That chin is so soft. It's the softest chin ever. Oh. You so little. You so little. You are the first little dog I have ever had. Do you know this? Do you know you are the only little dog I've ever had? Yes. And you think you're big.